Welcome to day 13 of the 411 Kitchen Cabinets Mobile Showroom conversion. All right, so I did see that somebody has one of these in California, but they just got sample doors in there and a few cabinets, but not a showroom display. So I'll be probably the first one in the East Coast. Who knows? But since I've been searching, my wife thought about this. It's not like we copied it from somebody, but sometimes you think about an idea and somebody already had thought about it and is doing it. But anyway, so I'm in the South and he's in I'm in the East Coast and he's in the West Coast. So we're gonna have that battle, East Coast against West Coast. But anyways, so today on the agenda is I got this rubber mat. This rubber mat, I'm not gonna go with the floor all the way to the walls because I want to give my cabinets a little bit of bouncing room. The car is gonna be bouncing a lot. So I looked around and it was a lot of suggestion that to put these underneath the cabinets to avoid squeaky noise, crackling and rattling and all that kind of stuff. And it gives the cabinet some absorbance to move and flexibility in here. Because the cabinets get mounted to the wall. They don't get mounted to the ground. That's not how you install cabinetry. So I thought about it and I said, I kind of like the idea. I'd rather not put the floor because the floor on here is going to be floating. It's going to be a floating floor. So if I pin it also too, with the cabinetry, the weight on it, it might not let the floor does what it needs to do, that is move. So I decided to do that. So that's on the agenda today, day 13. And I also have my reflectors. I have my reflectors today, came in. So what I'm thinking about doing today is this part right here. And then the wall that I might start today is two of them. Let me move this out the way. So the reflector, I'm gonna place it on here. And I was reading a lot about reflectors, how it works best. So as you can see, I already have the backing, the frame right up. But between the frame, here's the stainless, here's the metal. So it's saying that for it to work, it needs a gap in the front so it can reflect it, shoot it back out. So that's why I'm gonna put it on top of this on the frame, and then the plywood. It's gonna be sandwiched in between the plywood and the reflector is gonna be squeezed in there. But once I put it in here, between here and the back and the frame, it is gonna have the gap mostly all around to let it reflect and do its work. So that's why I went that way. So I might go ahead and build this wall, close it. The only two electricity that are going on here that I don't think it should be a big problem. And if not, I do run it through here, through there. So it's not that hard or complicated. So I'm gonna run, this is for the LED that's gonna be behind the deco doors. And this one's gonna be an outlet, but it's gonna be inside. I'm gonna leave it inside, and that's for the future. Or if I decide to buy an LED, or I want to buy something that it require an outlet, I have it already here. Sometimes it's good to have extra and have to break everything out and cut and maneuver. So when you're doing a build, think about where you think you might need one in the future, or you might like something in the future. Prepare for it when you're doing your build. So I'm gonna build one right here, my LED. The plan is the flooring, cover this wall, and then work back here, cover this wall here too, cover this already, close it in already. Why? Because for the guy to run my electricity, like I had mentioned before. Let me bring you up a little bit closer. Okay, hopefully that's better. On here, it's moving, I'm on the plywood. So on here is where I'm gonna be doing my niche. You can see all my electricity's here. So my inverter's gonna go back here. My DCC's gonna go back here. All my fuse is gonna go back here. My battery's gonna go back here. My lithium battery, because I'm gonna run everything off of the main battery. Also two off of the alternator is gonna be also to main source, and also to my power inverter. So I'm gonna close this in, start doing the niche, because either sometime within these days, he told me I could come to his house within, after work, or we're gonna plan to do it Sunday at his house, at his backyard. It'll be fine. Only till maybe 3, maybe 4, because Super Bowl Sunday, and the Patriots are playing. Yeah, baby. So let's go Patriots. So this is what I'm gonna be doing today. I already had all my wires run over here, and then I decided to buy a small fridge. So this is what I was talking about. I had an outlet going here, so I had 2 outlets. I had one, the push button, the push outlet that goes inside the counter, and then I had another one on top of the cabinet here. But I already have 2 on top of the cabinets over on that station. Display 1, we're calling that always now. Display 1, where the coffee is. Then I have another outlet. So I already have 2 outlets that I can show them, that they can put the outlets on underneath the cabinetry. So what I'm gonna take advantage is that I already bought the fridge. It gives me enough for like 10 sodas or 10 waters, so, or mix match. And I have the outlet right here. This is, well, not the outlet. I had the cord that was gonna go from here to here. Now I'm just gonna have it going from basically from here, because this is where I'm gonna put my fuse box, going right into there. So I'm gonna put it inside the 18-inch pantry, or 15. I'm not sure yet. After all is said and done, once I start closing, if it's gonna be a 15 or 18-inch pantry, and I'm gonna put it inside in the bottom. Now, how do I keep that fridge going the whole time? Well, here comes the other adding. When you start doing these conversions, you start adding, because you start thinking about things. So I can't let the batteries, everything, once I shut off, inverter shuts down, DC shuts down, battery lithium shuts down, everything shuts down. So there's no power going into my into my refrigerator. So what I'm gonna do, well, I'm gonna go ahead and invest on a 200 watts or kilowatts, or I don't know what it's called, the smallest power solar panel, and I'm gonna put 1 solar panel ready. I'm gonna start with 1 and go from there. And also too, that solar panel will charge that, and also can help me keep my lithium battery charging too. Just keep it charging. And then when I come in and turn on the car, the DC, I have a meter. It'll read if it needs to be charged. It'll start sending charge to the DC, to the lithium battery. If it doesn't need it, because the solar panel has done enough during 2 or 3 days, that maybe, or a day or 2 that I didn't drive the van and I didn't have it on, and it was not sending charge to the lithium battery because I didn't have the car on to run through the DC. Well, then this would have done it, because I'm in the beautiful state of Florida, when there's 99.9 always sun and heat sun. So I know it will be efficient enough to keep my fridge always running. And we're talking about a small little fridge. So even if this is working, the solar panel is only working at 60% capacity, it's plenty to just run. I'm talking about a little fridge like this. I think it's like 16 by 18 by 12 high. It's small. It's very small. And I did it just to keep some waters. I didn't want to keep bringing in and out water. But that's the plan, to do that with the solar panel, with the fridge. Like I said, before you close everything, if I would have closed this, the only good thing is that I would have had the fuse box right here. I would have said, oh, let's put the fridge here, and I would have already been okay to run. Yeah, I would have just, crack a hole behind the panel here, and I would have went into the pantry, and I would have been able to boom and plug it in. But that's not always the case. So if I was all the way in the front, or all the way up here, or all the way in the ceiling, before you close everything, go every little detail, where everything's going, how you want it, how you don't want it. That's the most thing I don't see people stressing out so much about. But you have to really, really, really go over every little detail. Where you want your stove, your fridge, everything. If you're doing it yourself, if you're hiring a company, well, that's different. But if you're doing it yourself, find out every little thing. Right now, as I'm speaking right now, the only detail that I gotta really worry about is still the lighting. What are we really gonna do with the lighting? I got a main source here, and it's too short, and I didn't want to, run the wire over here because the light's gonna probably start where this light is from here that way. So I went ahead and bought another one. So I'm gonna run another one and have it, hanging here, and then do my my daisy connecting over there. Oh yeah, what's funny about this walkie-talkie today is my granddaughter. My granddaughter, I had these in somewhere in the closet, and I turned them on. I said, and she's 4 years old. My granddaughter's 4 years old, and we just started talking. So now she only lives like 30 seconds walk from here, a few doors down. So now she's been calling me since last night, this morning. Already the mom was like, text me, walkie, so I had to turn it on. So I had to keep it on just in case she decides to call me, wants to have a talk with me. But anyways, that is day 13. And let's see, I'll come back. Hopefully I got a wall up here. Maybe this wall's already covered. And I got these down. And the AC's coming in on Thursday, 9 o'clock. I hired a company that do the AC. I don't want to take the risk of cutting that and then leaking, or I didn't do it right. So I'd rather pay a company that has been in business for many, many years. Let them do it, because if they mess up, they're responsible making sure, well, we all supposedly think that companies will back up their work. So hopefully this guy will back up his work. And also too, a thing that I did different is, this is a showroom. Sorry to keep you guys, but day 13, this is a showroom. So I want everything to look clean, very modern, clean. So I did buy a 14 by 14 vent air. And I was going to put it in the front. So I was going to have the AC here and the vent more front. And I started doing some more research. And I did find that they have a 6-inch that's called mushroom. And it lets the air. So, or other ones that are similar. So all I need is something to basically not let the air stay in here and let it out. So I found those mushrooms, something similar. So I'm going to eliminate the 14 by 14 because it's going to ruin my panel that's going up here with my lighting. I have to live with the AC, but the AC is just going to be one flat little thing there. In your house, you also have lights and ACs units with the vents. So what I'm going to do is that this pantry is coming out about 21 inches. So I'm going to put one right here, a 6-inch one, mushroom right here, because all I need is have something that lets the air escape, the humidity, so it can protect the cabinetry, no condensation, humidity, and all that stuff. So I'm going to put one back here, let the air out. And maybe I'll add another one, because they're only 6 inches. If I see it's not sufficient enough, on the front display number 1, I also have a 12-inch cabinet, 18-inch by 12-inch cabinet. I could throw one in there. And remember, these are curved, so when I come up with my cabinet straight, it's gonna have a gap here because I can't bend the cabinets. And also too, I'm not gonna make my ceiling straight. I'm not gonna do it due to the fact is it's a mobile showroom. I have to pretend that I'm gonna get 6'3", 6'5" people in here, because I don't want a customer to come in here saying, going like this, oh yeah, that looks nice. I'm trying to avoid that, so I'm trying to give them as much as possible. So that's why the cabinets are gonna go straight here, so they are gonna have a gap here. They're not gonna be flush. I might throw a little filler, because from some point, I think from here there, it starts going straight. So depending how far they come out, and if I can put in a trim work and enclose it, I will. But if not, I'm just gonna leave it open. And it's a showroom, and then I'll have some crown molding pieces around and one of the drawers, and I'll show the customer this is what a crown will look like. I'll take the crown, put it on top of the cabinet. This is what it will look like. But that's what I'm thinking about doing, eliminating that because it'll ruin my look. And on that 18-inch, 12-inch deep cabinet, put a mushroom there and one over here. So I'll put it vertical front and one in the back. Enough of me talking. I have to get to work because the past 2 days it's been 43 degrees here in Florida, and I have not came outside to do any work because my hands were freezing doing any cuts and I already have worked in the van. So anyways, 4-1 kitchen cabinet mobile showroom design coming straight from South Florida from Juan, my wife Sarah. See you soon.